Hey guys, Stephen Cox here, and today we're going to learn how to play pumped up kicks on the U bass using a loop pedal. So if you like videos like these, please subscribe below and consider becoming a patron. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright guys, so to do pumped up kicks like this, we're going to create a drum loop first using a little bit of slap bass technique. Then we're going to add the bass line. Then we add a chordal element, so it's kind of imitating a guitar. This was an arrangement thing. It's not really on the track, but it's outlining the chords that are. So first we got to do some slap, and what I like to do is kind of strum the strings for the snare sound, and then I slap for the bass drum sound. So we've got bass, snare, bass, is our pattern. So we're doing thumb, strum, thumb, thumb, strum. I'm going to do it one time a little bit slower so you can get the idea. Thumb, strum, thumb, thumb, strum. So the rhythm's a little bit tricky, but just get that in your head and you'll get it. We don't really have too much time to go over all the details of the rhythm. So we'll just go over the notes today. So then we have the bass line. The bass line sounds like this. But before we do that, note how long the bass line is. That's how long you need to do the drum pattern for before you start the bass line. So when you hit the loop pedal, you're going to do that drum pattern 4 times. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stomp right when you get to that next downbeat. The next time you would hit the thumb is when you're going to stomp the loop pedal. And the timing's really important. You got to stomp right when you start and then right at that point at the end. And then that's why I let it go around an extra time after looping it before going on to the bass part. So I had a little bit of time. And then the bass part, we're going to play the first fret on the E string 3 times. Then we're going to play the 3rd fret on the E string once. Then we've got the 4th fret on the E string 2 times. Okay? So we've got this rhythm. Alright, so now that you've kind of got the rhythm, that rhythm stays the same throughout. So we're just going to go through the whole pattern now. So from the beginning, 1st fret 3 times, then we've got the 3rd fret once, the 4th fret 2 times, and that was all on the E string. Then we've got the 1st fret and the 3rd fret on the A string. Then we've got the first fret on the D string. We do that one 3 times. Then the third fret on the A string. Then the first fret on the A string 3 times. And then last, we're going to do the fourth fret on the E string. That was that last note. So let's do the bass part together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just went around that time and then quickly went on to the next thing. And by the way, after you loop the drum part, at least on my loop pedal, you have to hit it again to get it to record over everything else. So we hit it once to stop the loop, and then it just keeps playing, and then you have to hit the pedal one more time to set it into record mode. So a lot of them are like that if you're not familiar with using a loop pedal. So then this time I really quickly got up to the guitar part, or what I'm calling the guitar part. Basically, we could have left a time around where the bass line just went again before going into that. But here is the guitar part, or the chordal thing that I'm doing. So I'm doing the 13th fret on the G string, followed by the 13th fret on the E string, and I'm holding both of those down at the same time. I like to use my middle finger to hold down the 13th fret on the E string, and my ring finger, but you can use your pinky, you can use whichever fingers you want. If you don't have the cutaway, this is a little bit harder, so you may have to use your pinky if the body is right there. But the Journeyman has a little cutaway here, that's why I like it. So we're going to do the 13th fret on both those strings, and then I'm using this hand, the middle finger to pluck the G string, and the thumb to pluck the E string. And we're just going to pluck G string, E string, G string, E string. That many times total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now we're going to move to where we have these two notes. And this is going to be the 10th fret on the D string and the 11th fret on the A string. And I move my thumb down and I go with these two fingers usually. So that'd be the thumb and the pointer finger. The thumb is getting the A string notes and the pointer finger is getting the D string notes. And then over here it doesn't really matter too much what fingers you use, but I like using my pointer finger and middle finger. Pointer finger for the 10th fret on the D string, middle finger for the 11th fret on the A string. So then we just do that same pattern where we do the thinner string first, then the thicker string, and we play it over 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now our next two set of notes are going to be the 12th fret on the G string and the 13th fret on the D string. And I like plucking those with these two fingers, middle finger getting the G string, pointer finger getting the D string. And then last but not least, we're going to move that this way a string, which is up physically but down in pitch. So now I've got the 12th fret on the D string and the 13th fret on the A string. And you can use your pointer finger for the D string on your plucking hand and your thumb for the A string on the plucking hand. Okay, so let's do that one time all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4. And after that, we've got all our loops, so don't forget to hit the loop pedal one more time to take it out of recording mode. Don't hit it 2 times quickly or anything, just hit it one more time to take it out of recording mode. Okay, and I'm using a Jam Man by Digi-tech, and this is the 2-pedal option. It's a little bit older of a pedal. For the record, it looks like this. Okay. So the mechanics of the other pedals might differ just a little bit on how many times you have to click the pedal to do things like stop it or to keep it recording. All right, so now we're on to the verse melody. This has a lot of syncopation in it, so we're just going to play each phrase. So the first phrase is just the bar 13, it looks like. Yes, it's bar 13, and it sounds like this. So this is all on the D string, 10, 8, 8, 8, then one more 8, and then 10. So that's a 10th fret, 4 8th frets, and a 10th fret, all on the D string. Okay? Then the next phrase sounds like this. Okay? So this is going to be the 10th fret on the D string. Then most of these notes are on the D string. There's one A string note coming up in a little bit, but for now we're on the D string. So 2 10th fret notes. Then we've got the 8th fret, looks like 4 times again. Then we've got the 10th fret, this time on the A string. Then back to the D string, we're going to do the 8th fret on the D string. And then the 10th fret on the D string. And this one's a weird little syncopated part. But then we're going to come back to the 8th fret. We're going to play that a total of 4 times. And then we're going to go back to the 10th fret. So that note will be held out into measure 17. So that's our pickup to the next bar. But this rhythm's kind of weird, so we'll play this phrase together. So this comes in on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, and so that last note is going to lead us into the next phrase. So it's going to come in on the and of 4. So that's going to be that 10th fret that we ended on that note just one time, and then we're going to play the 8th fret 3 times on the D string, and then we've got the 8th fret on the G string this time, and then back to the 10th fret on the D string. So we got, all right, and then our next phrase is going to be a bunch of 8th frets on the D string. Then we've got the 10th fret on the A string after that. So those 8th frets, it ends up being 5 total. 1 and 2 and 3. And then we've got the 10th fret on the A string and the 8th fret on the D string after that. So it's... Okay? Then the next measure, we've got the 10th fret on the D string, followed by 3 8th fret on the D string. We go back to the 10th fret, then we go back to the 8th fret for 4 notes this time, and then we go back to the 10th fret on the D string just to end that out. So that leads us into bar 22, and bar 22 is a pickup to the next measure. That next phrase will sound like this. Go into the next phrase after that. That's going to be the 6th fret on the A string 2 times, then the 8th fret on the D string 3 times, then we've got the 10th fret on the A string once, the 8th fret on the D string once, and that brings us into bar 24. We're going to play the 10th fret on the D string, then the 8th fret on the D string, and then 2 more of those 8th frets on the D string, so 3 total. And then back to the 10th fret on the D string. And then that's that next phrase. So this will sound like 1, 2, 3. All right, and now we're almost through it. We've just got this much left. And then finally, okay, so that's going to start with that 10th fret pickup again from where we ended the last phrase. Then we're going to go to the 8th fret 4 times. So, then we got the 10th fret on the D string after that. And this brings us into the last phrase. It's going to start like the one back at measure 22, where we play the 6th fret on the A string 2 times. Then we've got the 8th fret on the D string 4 times. Then we've got the 10th fret on the A string one time, the 8th fret on the D string, then we've got the 10th fret on the D string this time, then 3 8th frets on the D string. And that'll lead into the chorus. There's one more note at the end of measure 28, and you're going to hit a 12th fret on the G string. But let's play from 26 to that 12th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. And that's it for the verse. So that leads us into the most memorable part of the melody, which is the chorus. The melody sounds like this. 3, 4. Repeats. So that's going to start on the 12th fret on the G string. Then we're going to play the 10th fret 2 times, the 8th fret 2 times, then the 10th fret on the D string, the 8th fret on the D string. Now we're going to go to the 8th fret on the G string. So we've got the 8th fret 4 times total. Then we've got the 10th fret and the 8th fret on the D string at the end of that measure. So far we've got 10, 10, 8, 8, 10, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 10, 8. Okay? And then we've got the 8th fret on the G string a few more times, 4 total. And then we have the 10th fret on the G string. And then we hit that one more time. And then we do the 12th fret, and then back to the 10th fret. So that's the end of that first phrase. So we've got from measure 31, halfway through it, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now let's do from measure 29 all the way through 32. 1, 2, 3, 4. Measure 33, 34, and 35 are exactly the same as measures 29, 30, and 31. And the only thing that's different is the ending. So this is how it'll sound at the very end. So we're just going to start from, because that's the only part that's different. That's going to be the 10th fret on the G string 3 times. Then we've got the 12th fret on the G string, the 10th fret on the G string, and the 8th fret. And then we just repeat that whole thing all over again. So let's do the whole chorus together. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's it. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe and consider becoming a patron. I'll see you guys next Tuesday.